Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figure It Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here. In today's video, we're actually in Cardiff, Wales in the United Kingdom, and specifically we have come here. This is a store called Super Tomato. Now, I last visited this store about 10 years ago, and it was an awesome store, great experience, run by a guy named Tom. It's actually kind of a play on the Japanese store Super Potato, but his name is actually Tom, so it'll kind of just worked out nicely. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again, hanging out, and seeing what kind of cool video game stuff he has and what's changed here. If you haven't seen it, go back and check out the original video if you like. But yeah, let's go have some fun. Do me a favor though, if you could, please like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before. Check out all the social media stuff in the description: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, channel, etc. Let's go.
Oh, and we're back. So first things have changed a bit. There are still glass cases and obviously good rare stuff on the sides. We got special edition Game Boy Advances. A lot more Japanese stuff now, because this is Tom back there, by the way. Say hi. He is now doing a lot more stuff where he's picking stuff up in Japan. So you'll see a lot more of that here. Which I've now been to Japan quite a few times, so I get where he's going with this, where you just kind of pick up all this stuff and you're like, I just want to display it for other people and get them excited about it. Like this N64 controller. Come here. Remember the details about the controller. What was this is like the rarest release N64, right?
A Daihawk's N64 pad. It's two-tone, translucent orange, smoky black. And it is one of the rarer color ones. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then of course things like Densha to Go and its controllers. Then we have the European, some of the European exclusive stuff. Now Grand Prix, F1 World Grand Prix we got that, but the F1 World Grand Prix 2
is the exclusive.
Yeah, 2, we never got that. But you guys did. You probably have a few of the, yeah, there it is. Grand Prix, World F1 Grand Prix 2. I remember coming here like 10 years ago, and that was one of my, like, I need this game.
I think you're the only person who's ever bought
it. And exactly your reaction at the time. You're consistent. You're like, why would you want our garbage? But I wanted their garbage. Now I'm here for things that are not garbage, so you guys will see that later. But we have obviously more, European stuff. So we have the Mega Drives instead of Genesis, obviously. The slightly different color designs. Obviously, the Dreamcast had the blue swirl because of some trademark in Germany, I believe was the story with that. You're getting more into toys now, it seems.
Yeah.
Like, I know you had a bunch last time. It was more like Transformers and things, but I do like that you have this Back to the Future figure, which, incidentally, you've got... Those all came from, if I recall correctly, the Back to the Future store at Universal in Florida. I remember seeing them when I was a kid.
As far as I'm aware, they all came from a warehouse of unsold toys.
Well, yes,
and
but
every second-hand toy dealer in the UK.
But because the original, at least from my memory, and I was a child, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but to my memory, the original distribution for this was exclusively at Universal in Florida.
So those are ubiquitous within the UK. We just cannot give those away. 16 years, and I have never sold one of them.
It's too bad because she can attest to this. I do have one, so I'm good. But otherwise, I would help you with that. But yeah, we got more stuff here. Obviously, more figures, some Skyrim and things, books. Sega Picos, Japanese colorway version, the yellow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just the variety of software you get in Japan. Obviously, in the West, it's all the Disney tech. But things like the Ultraman titles and even the Pokemon games, just the whole of the world.
I was going to say, that to me, the one reason the Pico is really interesting is it's the only time Nintendo made games for Sega hardware. It's really its only novelty. And then, of course, the Mega Drive selection, and then the more westernized version. Is that an American Pico?
It's the European one.
That's the European one, okay. The box art's almost identical, from what I recall, anyway. But, we got that. We have an MVS cabinet deal here. Now, if we spin around real quick, we'll see we have way more figures. And a lot of this was, if I remember correctly, was more centralized at one point. It was more like where this is. At least there were more Transformers there.
Funny enough, there were a few other stores that were doing retro toys in Cardiff that were amazing and we really enjoyed. Those stores closed down, so it just eventually seemed natural that we started carrying a bit of it as well. And I mean, it might be the bit I enjoy the most as well. I love the games, but I really, really like the retro toys as well.
Understandable. A lot of Super Famicom and Famicom now, for obvious reasons. Like we said, going to Japan. More and more toys. The Orange Band Neo Geo, not any AES, but AEC.
Correct.
Yeah, he was telling me all about this. I actually didn't know this story, so can you tell them this?
So, yeah, obviously, in essence, it is just an AES, but it's an AES that is badged on the back AEC. It's what they call an orange band system, hence the orange band on the box. It's just one of the very, very early American machines when I think SNK were unsure as to whether people would actually buy those outright because they were so phenomenally expensive. And I think predominantly at that point they were a retail system, a rental system, I should say. Jeez, you can tell I need more of this coffee.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah, just it is inherently an AES, but it's a very, very novel AES. And AESs in themselves are very uncommon for us to see these days. There was a time, and I don't know how you feel about this as well, but we used to see them in Japan all the time. Very easy to acquire, very easy to import. Past few times I've been over there, I very rarely see them in any capacity. So getting one that is a novel one is super cool. Getting one of any description these days is just very difficult to do.
Agreed. I showed you guys, we have a little bit of Neo Geo stuff, obviously, CD content, obviously controllers, more games. And then we got some rare WonderSwan stuff, rare Super Famicom stuff. What's the story with the...
That is a Korokoro Comic Gold Bomberman 2 commemorative cartridge. Again, much like you know, every time you go into a store in Japan, they have the not for sale cabinet. There's always a gold Bomberman cartridge that always wound me up so much. That whole concept, the not for sale thing, was just going to rub it in your face. So when I had the opportunity to pick up the cartridge myself, we've got to have that in the store. Ours very much is for sale. I would be very reluctant to see it go, but it is fundamentally there to be sold.
See, you made a hard choice here. You have the Dreamcast Neo Geo Pocket link cable. And you've decided to put it in the Neo Geo cabinet instead of with the Dreamcast stuff. Can you defend that decision?
It does sometimes live in the Dreamcast cabinet. It flits between the two, depending on, I guess, how we're feeling that given week.
All right, fair enough. See? Sorry, I'm interrupting the main clip, guys, because I just noticed this. There's a Dreamcast karaoke device in here. I have one of those. If you guys want to see a video on it, there is a Jet Set Radio Music CD back there. Some Sega CD, Mega CD, more Dreamcasts. A Watermelon VMU, Seaman VMU, and an Amy. We got the Sonar Game Boy device. This was used for fishing. This is real. They had that for the WonderSwan as well. We got NES stuff that to me is more of the normal, shall we say, common stuff like Atari stuff and NES stuff. I'm assuming a lot of that's American, but you definitely have the British variants, it looks like.
Oh, it's all European.
Okay, well, there you go.
We don't see too much American NES and Atari stuff. I wish we saw more, particularly the NES. Like, your variety of software is so much bigger than ours.
Speaking of that, we have the Sega Master System, where it's exactly the opposite situation, where our selection was pathetic, and like almost everything on this shelf would be effectively an exclusive release to us. Almost. I'm not super familiar with the Master System library, but when I look at this, the only ones I'm actually confident that we got were like Sonic 1, Altered Beast, and Sonic 1, like, if I recall correctly, kind of like barely came out. The only thing that even distinguishes the American version is a sticker.
Got a sticker, yeah.
Which the sticker only exists if it's still like sealed.
Yep.
So you can't tell once it's opened, which is really stupid. But anyway, more Master System stuff. We got a little bit of PC Engine down there, and we got...
It's thin at the moment. We had a guy come in and buy almost all our PC Engine stuff on mass, so there's very little left at the moment.
That does it. Amiga PCs. It looks like you have some paper goods. The stack of PS1s is still here.
So, I mean, you've got to bear in mind, as 16 years ago, it's always been one of the most common things for us to get traded in, so we only refurbish them generally 1 or 2 at a time. It just wouldn't be cost effective to do them all at once. It would cost me a huge amount of money, and they just don't sell that quick, you know. They're super cool and super cheap, and it's very easy to trip over into spending more money fixing it up than you're ever going to sell it for.
I quite enjoy seeing this giant stack of Mega Drives and Dreamcasts, I'm just going to say. Now, we're going to head into, we got obviously we got like paper goods, we got some Dreamcast games, we got Saturns, we got books, but we're going to head into the thing I was the most excited about. We've got a bunch of Amiga CD32 stuff. Now, some of it might have suddenly vanished. I don't know why that would have happened.
Much less than there was when you came
some American came in and just cleared this out. What a jerk. But, yeah, there's some left over for the rest of you. And there was another system there, another British exclusive system, and stuff that was there that is no longer there. You might see later eventually by somebody. But then you have a bunch of, like, what, ZX Spectrum things?
So that first shelf underneath is Amstrad CPC. Underneath that is Commodore 64, and then it's 4 shelves of Spectrum.
Wow. Impressive. And then over here we have some Atari stuff, other PC things, more Atari stuff.
Atari ST there as well.
A lot of Amiga, obviously.
Some big box PC stuff. We don't generally carry a huge amount of modern PC stuff just because compatibility is so hit and miss.
Sure.
But if it's old school, if it's on floppy, or if it's a particular classic title, we'll absolutely carry that. Anything by LucasArts. We took a few novel Amiga games in recently. There's a copy of Zack McCracken down there, which again is a Lucasfilm classic.
Along with Star Wars stuff, so that's appropriate.
Yes, absolutely.
I like your new logo, by the way.
You're very kind. My brother designed that.
Yeah, he did a good job. And we'll swing around here. We Ninja Gaiden figures. We got PSP stuff, Xbox One stuff. Just kind of a hodgepodge of things like Video Pack and things like that. Xbox 360, Crystal Xbox, which I know over here is crazy common. We never got this in North America. Well, we never got this in the U.S. Canada got this.
I wouldn't say it was crazy common. But
I've seen it a bunch here, at least at cons.
The green one is the real red one. Obviously.
Well, yeah, of course. That's the standard. I'm just saying this, by comparison of what it is in North America, is very common in the UK. Only because the U.S. never saw it, but Canada did. Actually, that one's a European exclusive, Conan. Then it looks like you've gotten into some manga, apparently.
We always did.
Yeah.
The size of the section varies depending on what we're prioritizing in terms of shelf space.
PlayStation 2, kind of hard to ignore in Europe because of how long it lasted here. Tons of this stuff. I think that one's actually exclusive to you guys. Although, when I say exclusive, North America didn't get it. I think Japan probably got that too. But you guys had way more PS2 content than we ever got. Although your labels, man.
All those anonymous
labels.
white spines. Yeah.
It's disgusting. PS1, kind of the same deal. With the occasional exception of somebody who gets a little bit of color. The rest of them are just like...
I don't know if you find this in Japan as well, but whenever I'm searching for, say, disc-based stuff, say PS2 or Switch, very hard when the spines don't look the same to work out what's there, whether that's Japan or Europe.
Yep. And we got some of the fancy stuff. Looks like you got some fancy PS2 things in here.
PS2 wrestling games.
Games,
yeah,
okay.
Not necessarily the rarest thing, but I like it, so it gets its own cabinet.
Hidden behind some of the toys, we've got a CDI. Why are these mixed together?
There was a bigger CDI section, but gradually most of the big games have gone, so we have the system left. The system's actually boxed. The box is up there somewhere.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's it right there.
Under the Sylvanian families.
Well, there you go, everybody. If you need a CDI in the box, he's got you. An Apple monitor of some kind.
Yeah.
And then just some random PlayStation 2s of different, special editions. I think that one is anyway. Some Atari Jaguar stuff, which over here I imagine is rather hard to find. Not that it's exactly common.
I would assume it's pretty scarce everywhere.
Yeah, true. It's a little bit more common in North America, but not even close to common exactly. PlayStation 3, you have an R-Zone game, props for that. DS, GBA, Wii, Mr. T figures, and I'm only pointing that out because I've met Mr. T 4 separate times now.
I met him once.
Yeah, he shops in my grocery store.
You could definitely one-up me there.
But the only reason I've encountered him is because he shops at the same grocery store.
I didn't even meet him. I was so afraid. I sent my mum up to meet him.
Wow.
She said he was a very nice guy.
He's super nice. He even suggested a selfie with me, not the other way around.
Very cool.
Super nice guy. More figures, and then this thing that I'm super jealous of, this Dreamcast kiosk, which I very much want, but the logistics of ever owning this is a huge pain. So, I'm mad at you for that, even though it's not in any way your fault. But, so there you go, guys. It has been a decade, and the store is not only still standing, it is still awesome. You actually didn't just notice that till now. You get a Mega Drive Power Rangers poster on the wall that is instant bonus points. So, thank you for having us back here, and hopefully I'll see you in a decade.
You are, of course, my favorite American.
Appreciate
Always
it.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, so we've left, and we got a lot of cool stuff, which you guys will see in a future episode of Playload. So I just want a huge shout out to Tom, because he was very cool about it. He gave me some good deals, and it was awesome in there. I hope you guys come check it out if you're ever down in Cardiff.
Hey, post-production Adam here. Just want to give a shout out to all the British people, and let you know, a heads up, I will actually be back in the UK at a game convention called Revival Game Not Over 2024 in Wolverhampton. Forgive my pronunciation there. Either way, I will be there. Come on out. I'll have the Sega Pluto with me. I don't know if it's going to be functional or not, given power restraints, but regardless, I will be there. So if you guys can do me a favor, please like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before, check out all my social media stuff in the description, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, Travel Channel, etc. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later, especially you British people.